YouTube! I love making videos out in my building. You can hear the frogs, the birds, and all that good jazz, and it kind of just sets the mood, you know what I'm saying? Also, have you ever heard of a war that ended before your coffee got cold? A 38-minute showdown that proves history sometimes goes by quicker than our favorite meme. That's the Anglo-Zanzibar War. Let's talk about it. Let's rewind to 1896, where the sun is shining and the British Empire is being, well, they're being the British Empire. And Zanzibar is preparing to host the shortest war in history. Zanzibar was not just a tropical paradise. It was a protectorate of the British. This is a colonial code for you have your own leadership, but the British call the shots. Now, the current Sultan, Ahmad, was a chill dude. He worked well with the British, drank his tea on time, and didn't rock the colonial boat. Everything was fine until he did one unacceptable thing. He died. And this is where everything goes off the rails. Ahmad's cousin Khalid sees the empty throne and does the one thing that any power-hungry individual would do. He moves right in. The problem with this? Well, the British didn't approve. The British had another person in mind. More of a yes man, or a puppet, if you will. So when Khalid moved into the palace and claimed to be the man, the British just simply said no. The British gave Khalid a warning. You have until 9 a.m. tomorrow to get out of the palace, or else. Khalid had two options. Number one, he could leave quietly and all would be well. Option two, he could stay and fight. Like any power-hungry individual, he chose option B. And by when I say him fight, I mean he was going to have others go die for him. The British, in response, brought 5 warships, a handful of Marines, and a couple of barrels of tea. At 8:55 a.m. the next morning, a British officer sent a final warning to Khalid. They gave him 5 minutes to vacate the palace. And as you could imagine, Khalid did not leave. At 9:02 a.m., the British starts shelling the palace. Zanzibar returns fire. Well, kind of. In the process, the Sultan's private yacht gets sunk. This was also gifted to them by the British. So the British kind of, sunk their own yacht. Meanwhile, Khalid finds time to bail out of the back of the palace and retreat to a German consulate. What a leader. The palace was bombarded, leaderless soldiers left fighting, and the yacht is destroyed. The war was basically done at 9:40 a.m. The war was over in 38 minutes. I've had longer CSGO matches. So what happened next? The British did what the British wanted to do. They installed their own leader. The new leader was very grateful and, as you could imagine, was very obedient. Imagine that. Meanwhile, Khalid lived in the German consulate for a short while. He was eventually smuggled out of Zanzibar, and some speculate that he could have possibly been dressed as a woman. Now, I would take that with a grain of salt because I wasn't able to find anything to prove that. But considering how things went down, it's not out of the question. He fled to German East Africa under German protection. As for the British, well, they claimed an easy W. Their soldiers didn't even miss second breakfast. As a matter of fact, throughout that entire 38-minute battle, they only had one injury. Zanzibar, on the other hand, suffered 500 casualties, had their yacht sunk, and their palace was destroyed. This is the kind of historical event that deserves its own British short series. It's also worth mentioning that Khalid would eventually be captured by the British, and they would exile him. But all in all, that's it. That is the shortest war in history. All over a guy that wanted to live the high life. And I'm sure the Germans had absolutely nothing to do with this. Alright guys, I am cheap. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, all that good jazz. We'll catch you in the next one.